Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone to Shri Shri Radharadhana Temple. Can we please all rise to observe Srila Prabhupada's Guru Puja?
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma Sadma Pandamoi Savadana Mate Pandamoi Savadana Mate Jahar prasare vai Bhavatoriya jahai Krishna pratyo jahate Krishna pratyo jahate Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Koriya Kya Harna Kuriya Mane Asha Harna Kuriya Mane Asha Shri Guru Charane Rati Ese Uttamagati Je prasare pure sa asha Je prasare pure sa asha Chakshudhan diyo jai janme janme Prabhu se Divya gyan hriday prakashita Divya gyan hriday prakashita प्रेम भक्ति जाते अभिजा विनाश जाते रे गाय जहर चरित रे गाय जहर चरित श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु आज भजनार बंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु आज भजनार बंधु लोकनाथ लोकेरा जीवाना लोकनाथ लोकेरा जीवाना प्रभु कर दया देह मोर पार छाया प्रभु कर दया देह मोर पार छाया हे बेजा सुसुति पुवाना हे बेजा सुसुति पुवाना Shila Prabhupada Patita Pavana Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Namaho Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavari Pasityarishatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Radhanath Radha Radhanath Radhe. Jaya Radha Radhanath Radha Radhanath Radhe. Jaya Gora Hari, Gora Hari, Gora Hari, Jaya Gora Hari. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. On behalf of the Sri Sri Radha Radhanath Temple, a very warm welcome to each and every one of you to our Sunday Love Feast program that happens every Sunday commencing at 11 a.m. So thank you very much to each and every one of you for being here with us. We will start our program with a very short clip of our founder Acharya, that is His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. We always start our program with a short video of our founder Acharya.
A blind man cannot The eyes have to be treated. How to see?
Is this true also of your other senses?
Every sense. You want to see something, you must pretend how to see. The scientist is seeing something through the microscope. And you want to see with naked eyes. How it is possible to see? You must adopt the process to see. Then you can see alone.
I have just one more question, and that is also from an outsider's point of view. It appears to me that one of the most difficult aspects of Krishna consciousness for someone to accept who's outside of that point of view is the deities. The deities and the idea that they represent
Deity?
Krishna. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. At the present moment, because we are not trained enough to see Krishna, so Krishna kindly appears before you, as you can see. You can see wood, stone. You cannot see what is spirit. If you don't see yourself, you think you have this body. But you are spirit soul. You are seeing your father and mother daily. And he is everything. His spirit and matter, everything. But you cannot see him as spiritual identity. Therefore he has appeared in material so that you can see. He is God. But you cannot see him in his original spiritual form at the present moment. Therefore, out of his unbounded mercy, he has appeared before you just like made of wood and stone, so that you can see. So you are coming daily in our meeting?
Not really, but
Yes. This
is my father.
Oh,
Grace
thank you very much.
my mother.
So you are all fortunate. You have got such a nice son.
Thank you.
And he is giving you the best service by becoming Krishna conscious.
Service.
Don't think that he is out of home. He is lost. No. He is giving you the best service.
Well, we're very pleased with him and always have been. We thank you for helping him find happiness and serenity, which he was able to find through your order.
Thank you. A very good book.
What's amazing to me is where you get the strength to keep the pace that you have. Tell me how you do that. I'm something as you're a junior and I have a difficult pace to keep.
The process is genuine. The process is I recommend and they follow. Then it is good.
Yes, it's saying that our lifestyle will enable you to have that strength also by worshiping God.
Just like the physician, he gives you medicine and he gives you the process, the dose, how to take the medicine, how to take the diet. If the patient follows, then it's here.
Hare Krishna. So we now move on to the next part of our program. It is my absolute honor and privilege in introducing our speaker for today, and that is His Grace Swarup Damodar Prabhu. So let's give him a warm welcome. His Grace Swarup Damodar Prabhu joined Srila Prabhupada's movement in the early 1990s. Since then, he has served ISKCON in various ways, including as a former temple president right here at the Sri Sri Radha Radhanath temple. He is now based in Mumbai, India. So we are indeed very privileged to have Prabhu here spending time with us. A humble request to please switch off cell phones or turn them to silent mode. Thank you very much. I hand over to His Grace Swarup Damodar Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodhanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodhanandana Braja Janaranjana Ravanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Astottara Sata Sri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki ISKCON Swandacharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Astottara Sata Sri Srimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakun Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Shri Vrindavan Dhama Ki Mayapur Navadvip Dhama Ki Ganga Mai Ki Yamuna Mai Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Tulsi Maharani Ki Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bom. Hare Krishna. How are you all this morning? Everyone well? It's nice to be back here at Sri Sri Radha Radhanath Temple at the Sunday Love Feast program. When we first proposed this topic about deity worship, at first I thought it would be a simple introduction touching some bullet points about why we worship deities, maybe a little bit about how we worship deities. I hope many of you didn't come to learn the detailed process of how many circles and what mantras to use, because you will be disappointed, because we're not going to get into detail. And who is eligible to worship the deities, deities at home, deities in the temple. And this morning, as I was thinking about it more, last night as I was thinking about it a little more, I realized we probably need about 7 sessions, 7 1-hour sessions to get through even those topics. So in today's 45 minutes or so that we have, we'll try to at least more deeply appreciate, maybe even reappreciate the forms of the deities that are before us. What is it that they mean to us? Am I being sentimental, or am I being realistic in my approach to them, in my understanding and devotion to them? Is it just based on some traditional teaching that I got from my mother or my father? Well, Prabhu, I was born in this movement. I grew up with deities. I don't know any better. I was told this is God. I'm accepting it to be God. Like when the first deities were introduced in the movement in 1967 in Haight-Ashbury in San Francisco, Srila Prabhupada, some of you may know the story. The first deities were actually shoplifted deities. they were stolen out of an import store in San Francisco. And to that, the credit for that shoplifting goes to Her Grace Malati Devi Dasi, one of Prabhupada's earliest disciples. Without her, because of her, of course it was Lord Chaitanya's plan, Prabhupada's vision, but it manifested through Malati Devi that Lord Jagannath came into this movement. So she shoplifted the one form, and she came and showed Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada said, "Oh, this is Jagannath." And he immediately got up from behind his desk and offered obeisances to the small little form that could be put on someone's face. That's how it was. Then Srila Prabhupada said, immediately we need to carve proper sized deities. So he had Shyam Sundar Prabhu, who was a very expert artist. He was very multi-talented, and he carved the deities. And the first installation of the deities was Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra. How many of you have been to a proper ISKCON temple deity installation? Anybody? Few people. Anybody been to Pietermaritzburg? When was that? 10 years ago. We had a very elaborate, very beautiful, multi-day event, and many pujaris and priests and mantras and fire sacrifices and bathing. But that time in 1967, Prabhupada had these 3 deities on a table, and all the hippies were there, a few devotees were there, Prabhupada was there. Prabhupada took a bowl of candles or a plate of candles, went before the deity, offered circles, and then handed it to the next person while he went and led kirtan, and every person in the room came and offered candles. That was the installation of Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra in our movement, the first installation. So perfect and complete. Love of the pure devotee, calling Krishna from the spiritual world to manifest in this form, and that love was carried through the medium of the chanting of the holy name. So perfect and complete. Right? Perfect and complete. So that was the first time we had. So coming to the point that how do we appreciate these deities? Are these deities, is that Radharani? Is that Krishna? Is that Lord Chaitanya? Is that Prabhupada? So we'll try and touch on some of these points, and hopefully when we do come to the temple again, or when you go back home today and you see your altar, bow before your altar, it'll give you some renewed enthusiasm, renewed, refreshed appreciation, with more deliberation in why we worship deities, why we establish deities in our temples, in our homes. Is there something else that you'd like to have discussed about the topics of deities? Anyone? Speak now, or you can ask for it next week. Leelas of deity worship. Yeah, actually some years ago, I don't know how many years ago was it, I was fortunate enough to prepare a presentation about the history of Radharanath Mahaprabhu here and Giriraj. How they came, different very interesting details of where they stayed, different markings on their body, when it manifested, what colors they wear before they were installed. Different, things that only some of the pujaris would have known, or the very early devotees. It was very, very enlivening for me to research, because for many of those details I wasn't personally present. It came through parampara, so to speak. That head pujari spoke to that pujari spoke to another one. Eventually it came to me. So it was very enlivening, and when I researched for that presentation, it was, for me, one of the best experiences to increase my appreciation for Radharanath. So maybe someday in the future someone can also do that presentation. Okay, so to answer the first question, how can we accept this form that we see before us? Radharanath, of course, are made out of white marble, very beautiful white marble. To ask a controversial question, who of you feel that Radharanath are the most beautiful deities on the planet? Some of you don't think that. No. I feel they are. And then when I go to Mumbai, I feel Radha Rasa Bihari are the most beautiful. When I go to Vrindavan, I feel Radha Shyam Sundar is the most beautiful deity. Because that beauty is in the eye of the servant, of the beholder. The beholder means that person who's constantly looking at that form with love and devotion. Just like, to any mother or parent, her child undoubtedly is the most precious, most beautiful. To another person who's never loved a child, a baby, like, oh, that doesn't look nice. Come on, Prabhus, how many of you had that feeling of Mataji about other children? It happens, right? Like, that okay. But to a mother, it's everything, right? The child is everything, completely. Can be crippled, can be deformed, it doesn't matter. The child is most beautiful. So when we serve and worship the deity, that form becomes very special to us. So how can we accept this form to be directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead? And I'll just quote something from Srila Prabhupada. In other words, just to give the background, context to this question, or to Prabhupada's answer, Prabhupada was being asked about idol worship, which we hear so much in Abrahamic religions, how they deny idol worship, like this is what's the word? It's heathenism. It's not to be condoned. It mustn't be facilitated. It's very bad. It'll destroy your spiritual process, whatnot. Idol worship. So Prabhupada is answering this question that the difference between idol worship and deity worship is life. Interesting, right? The difference between idol worship and deity worship is life, meaning something is living. If there is no life, then it is idol worship, heathenism. And when there is life, feeling, then it is Krishna. We must think, here is Krishna. I have to serve him. I must do it very nicely. If you think Jagannath or Radharanath is a wooden or marble idol, then he will remain a wooden or marble idol to you forever. So the difference between idol and deity, installed deity, is, what's the word? Life. Now, life could refer to two things here. The deity has life, or we have life. And in this case, Prabhupada is saying life means feeling. Right? So when we come before the deity, a bona fide, properly installed form of Krishna, of the Supreme Lord, if we get a sense, if we can get a feeling, not a superimposed, traditionally imposed, heritage imposed, fear imposed feeling, that I'm getting some reciprocation from this form, then one can appreciate, yes, there is something here. There is some divinity here that I can appreciate, that I can reciprocate with, that I can develop a relationship with. This is very important. So life. At the same time, we find that one may think, well, I look at so many material forms and I get a feeling out of it. Right? I get some feeling. And we find that there is a tendency. Is this okay for you all, this little breaks? It's not, can we do something about it? Maybe the batteries need charging. We find there's a tendency for people to be very dependent on divinity. We always looking upwards towards something that's beyond the realm of human power. We're looking to divinity to give us some form of shelter, some form of protection, right? At least I've always done that, looking for something beyond myself. And then we find a tendency over many civilizations, which, what are they, historians, I guess, or anthropologists, refer to as anthropomorphism. Have you heard this term before? Anthropomorphism means that we people will ascribe human characteristics, attributes, feelings, forms to divinity, so that we can then fashion a form that looks like us, speaks like us, so that we can connect with the divine through this form. And one may think that is what Srila Prabhupada did here with Radha and Krishna, or the great acharyas going back thousands and millions of years. They have done with the forms of Radha and Krishna, that they have created a form just to allow us to use as a medium to connect with the divine. What do you think of that idea? Is that a good thing? It's a terrible thing. Because that's not what we are about. We are not about anthropomorphism, that man is created in the image of God. But now what we are saying is that God is created in the image of man, right? So we have this need to connect with the divine, and we create this form looking like us, feeling like us, colors like us, whatever. And we think, yes, now I can connect. While there may be some value in that, there may be some value, but we should not see it in totality in that way. Because then ultimately we'll think, well, this is a form created from my conceptualizing mind, and it is ultimately not divine. It's simply a gateway to that which is divine. But what the scriptures have taught us, what Srila Prabhupada and the previous acharyas have taught us, is that yes, this is a form of God, and it is, yes, a wonderful medium to receive our prayers to the Supreme Absolute Truth, but it's not just a medium. It is directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no difference. Well, there is one which we'll talk about just now. There is no difference between this form that we are seeing with our eyes and the form of Krishna and Radharani in Goloka Vrindavan, or that form of Krishna who appeared 5,000 years ago in Gokul, Bhoma Vrindavan. There's no difference whatsoever. One may then think like, well, then how is that possible? How is that possible? This is stone. That Lord Chaitanya is resin, fiberglass resin. The small deities of Radha, Radhanath are Ashtadhatu, mainly brass, but a few other metals, gold and silver, all mixed in there. Form of Prabhupada is also resin. So these are material things that how can the material elements be put together and we can accept it to be spiritual? Of course, Krishna speaks about this, right? That everything emanates from him. All elements are coming from him. So ultimately, if everything is coming from Krishna, the supreme spiritual whole, then everything that's coming from him is also spiritual. Even if all these elements we see around us, like this wooden table, this plastic phone, plastic bottle, water, and they're all material, they don't have life. But ultimately, because they come from Krishna, it is all spiritual. But then, can I then say, I'm going to worship this water bottle as God? Because it's coming from Krishna. It's ultimately his energy. No, it doesn't work like that in such a whimsical way. Why we accept Radha Radhanath to be spiritual and the divine forms of Krishna is because those persons who are closest to Krishna, the pure devotees of Krishna, they will it. Krishna does not come to the material world out of some woman fancy. He comes specifically by the desire of his pure devotees, especially in the form of the deity. Especially in the form of the deity. Just like I told a little story of how Prabhupada invited Krishna in the form of Jagannath through a simple ceremony. When an empowered personality calls for the Lord to come, the Lord is compelled. He feels obliged to come and take a form, even though that form may be made out of stone or metal, plastic or whatever. Krishna can come into that form. Further, the forms that we worship, that the pure devotee calls the Lord into those forms are not just some clever artist who may come, somebody who's studying art or sculpture in university. What sculpture? What's the word? Okay. What do they study? Sculpture. They study, architecture or whatever, right? They call them, they see, okay, let me go and do it now. From their mental, they get some idea of because artists are so good, they just see a picture once and they can do it. No, it's not like that. These forms are carved, are fashioned, following very strictly ancient directions from the scripture. Even in our Srimad Bhagavatam, there are nice brief descriptions of the form of Krishna. How he is threefold, standing in three places, how his eyes are slanted, how his hair reaches to his shoulders, what type of hair he has, what type of color eyes he has. But further than that, very detailed, proportionate descriptions of proportions are given about Krishna. How he has 3 lines on his neck. How Krishna, Krishna doesn't have a 6-pack. He has a little bit of a, so Prabhu, it's okay. It's all right. Nobody. We are just imitating Krishna. He has a little bit of he has a 1-pack. Something like, slightly, how his arms are shaped, how his fingers, all details are given. Very, very intricate details are given. And so it's called Shilpa Shastra. Shilpa Shastra. The Shastras that are focused on the form of the deity, on the structures of temples, design and architecture of temples, they all. So qualified artists, they carve or fashion these forms of the Lord based on these very, very intricate directions. And it's important to do it because the Lord has given these Shastras. Who has given the Vedas? Krishna himself has given the Vedas. So he's giving directly the account, the detailed description of how his form should look and what metals, what materials are authorized to carve his form. And then based on that form, then one can say, well, I got this first class. One can go to Vrindavan, one can go to Mayapur, one can go to even the store downstairs, pick up a deity off the shelf, pay, have a receipt. I've got a receipt. This is Krishna. No. That's not sufficient. You still need to petition Krishna from the spiritual world to come and take residence in that form. Not really residence, but to invigorate that form, to activate that form with his very person. Because anybody can say, yes, I've got a form of Krishna Balaram, I've got a form of Jagannath, I've got a form of Nrsingadev, right? And now I put it on my altar, I'm worshipping, it's Krishna. Doesn't work like that. Prabhupada gives the example of a post box. Most of you now would have forgotten the post boxes. How many of you have used a post box in the last year? One, like so few, right? 30 years ago it was like a daily, weekly business, right? And how do you recognize what is a post box? It has a specific color, sometimes a shape, it has some authorized badges or insignia on it, so this is the authorized post box. And it's endorsed by some authority, the postmaster or something, right? We used to go somewhere on the street and you just put it in. Now if you find any hole in the wall, will you put it in? You're not going to, because your letter is not going to go there. So Prabhupada uses the same analogy that just because something looks like a post box, it feels like a post box, it's colored like a post box, doesn't mean your letter that you put in is going to get sent to the address C, to the recipient. It has to be authorized. Right? So what gives authority to the deity that this is the form of the Lord is the scripture and the invitation of the pure devotee, the advanced devotee. This is essential. Is essential. So even if you buy a deity from down here, right, first you have to get the authority of the pure devotee, of the advanced devotee. So this in a sense leads into the answer to one of the questions, who can worship the deities? Of course, that's a big topic, but more immediately, who can worship deities? Is that person who's got the blessings and permission of the spiritual master, Shiksha or Diksha Guru. Because that person, that Guru then is taking responsibility to ask Krishna, ask Lord Chaitanya, ask Srimati Radharani, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani to come and take their place in that form. Otherwise, you could be worshipping, offering bhoga. It's very nice, nice consciousness, but it won't have that same impact unless given full authority in the form of blessings from the spiritual master. This is important. Another thing about life, we spoke about life. So by the authorized process of sculpting the deity, fashioning the form of the deity, by the petitioning, by the authority of the pure devotee, inviting Krishna into the form, that's what gives that form life. And one of the many procedures in an elaborate deity worship ritual is called the prana pratishta. Pratishta means to establish prana, life force into the deity. There's a specific ritual. All right? And then you find the great acharyas, the great devotees, they'll take a certain metal or kusha grass empowered by mantras, and they'll touch different forms of the deity, and they'll chant mantras to invigorate all the senses, all the limbs, all the activities within the, all the living activities within the form of the deity. Now, life, what Prabhupada refers to initially, the difference between deity worship and idol worship, he said life, is also the life within us. In other words, the feeling that we get. That's also important, the feeling that we get. That there is living presence there, we accept it, but now what's happening to us when we come before that living presence in the form of the deity? There has to be something that's there. And we find, you ask any sincere pujari who's not emotionally based or sentimentally based in any way, that when they follow a regulated process over some time of offering the items to the Lord, the upacharas, the rituals that are they're designed by Krishna in the Shastras, when they do it over time in a regulated, in a devotional, in a committed, sincere way, feeling develops in the heart. Now, of all people, even I can say that after worshipping Radha Radhanath or my Govardhan Shilas for some time, something is there, something stirs in the heart. That is also life, that feeling. If one is not getting that feeling, then there could be two things that's wrong. One is you have no feeling. In other words, you have no devotion. Or that's not God that you worship. Right? God is not invigorated. Krishna hasn't invigorated that form. All right? So, living presence is there. Through our daily rituals, we will get reciprocation from Krishna. Like the very first pujari in our movement. Anybody know the pujari's name? The most, little less known than Yamuna Devi Mataji, but this Mataji was the first pujari that Prabhupada trained personally and said that through her, everyone else will learn deity worship. Her name was Shilavati Mataji. Very great devotee in our movement. She passed away last year or year before last. And Prabhupada said, if by your service to Krishna, meaning Rukmini Dwarkadish where she served, if you can get Krishna to smile, your life is perfect. How many of you have seen Radhanath smile here? Some hands are going up. Some hands are going up. All of your hands should go up. Because you all have. I mean, it's not like I'm asking you all to prove what pure devotees you all are. But we've all seen them smile at some point or the other. And it's not just because, wow, they're so nicely painted with smiles. How many of you have seen Jagannath smile? Everybody. Because it's painted on unmistakably. But even beyond the painting, one will feel Jagannath's smile in your life. This is what we are after. This is what we must be aspiring for. That I want to not just see Jagannath's smile, I want to feel Jagannath's smile in my life. And that smile will come. How many of you had a bad day today so far? Or yesterday? How many of you had a bad week? No one ever had a bad week or a bad day in their lives? Huh? In the midst of that most difficult day, you come before Radha Radhanath and you get the feeling, it's all right. What's the big deal? I'm before Radha Radhanath. You know, that's Krishna's smile in your life, where you can come before them and feel completely pacified. You can come before them and feel completely free to speak whatever's in your heart. Can you do that with just anybody? Very difficult. Most people in the world today can't even do that with one other person in the world. There's not one person who can do that with Radha Radhanath, with Krishna. You can do that. So that's how, these are just some objective and also internal, transcendental, sentimental ways of understanding that Krishna is there in the form of the deity. Now, if that is Krishna, fine, deity worship, but is that really our process? We heard in Kali Yuga the famous verse from the, I always forget which scripture it comes from. Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Nama Vekevalam, Kalo Nasteva, 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 Gatiranyata. Does that verse say anything about deity worshipping the way for salvation in the sage? What does it say is the only method? It says the only method is chanting the holy name of Krishna. Now, where does deity worship fit in all of this? We made this whole spiel about the deity is God, worship the deity, have feeling, have Krishna's smile in your life. But that's not the process. Dwarpare paricharyayam. In the Bhagavatam it says, what's the verse? Kritayad dhyayato Vishnum. In the age of Satya Yuga, you meant to just meditate. In the next age, Treta Yuga, Tretayam Yajatomaka, you meant to perform elaborate Agnihotras, fire sacrifices. And in the next age, the one that Krishna appeared in Dwapara Yuga, that's for deity worship, Archana, temple worship. And in this age, Kalotadhari Kirtanat. This is the age for chanting the holy names of Krishna. This is the whole process. So why do we have to worship deities? Why do we have to worship deities? Srila Prabhupada said, yes, ultimately all that we have to do is simply chant the holy name of Krishna. And that's full and complete to take us back home, back to the spiritual world. But in order for us to come to that point of chanting with quality, with consistency, with devotion, one needs to reach the platform of the mode of goodness at least. And to be on the mode of goodness is a tall ask. It's not easy. Samo damastapaso cham shanti rajavam eva. How many of you have been peaceful the whole week? Didn't get upset with anyone? Equipoised in the face of any issue in life? The geyser went off, the electricity. Oh, there's marches coming this week. Oh my God, you get all frazzled. That's not mode of goodness. That's passion. That's frustration. So to really chant the holy name on a consistent, pure level, and the level of Shuddha Nam, one needs to purify the heart through regulation, through practice, through cleanliness. One has to practice being a Brahman. Not just some Brahman because of some surname you may have, or your father is, was a Pandit or something. No, not like that. Or you got married into a Brahman. No, not exactly. But actually living the qualities and behavior of a Brahmanical person. And that's why Srila Prabhupada and the Acharyas, especially the Gaudiya Acharyas in this age, coming from Lord Chaitanya, highly recommended the process of deity worship. Because to worship the deity, one has to be a Brahman. Not just, how Prabhupada would say? 2 paisa. It's a little more expensive. It's 5 rand now in the temple gift shop. It's like about 30 rupees now. You're making too much profit in this temple with these cheap Brahman threads now. Not just wearing one of these things. No, not wearing one. But actually behaving like a Brahmana. Cultivating the qualities of a Brahmana. And then when one does that, through the process of deity worship, the regulation, the timeousness, punctuality, the cleanliness, learning mantras, learning how to reciprocate, how to serve the Lord, how to perceive His reciprocation, their reciprocation. When we do like that, then our hearts become cleansed, and then when one can chant the holy name of Krishna very, very nicely. Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Prabhupada, following him, taught us that our spiritual life runs like a train runs on two parallel tracks. If one track is out of sync with the other, what happens to the train? It gets derailed. Major accident. So similarly, our spiritual life runs on two parallel tracks. One is Bhagavad Vidhi, the process of simply hearing and chanting, reading Shastra, meditating on the pastimes of Krishna, like that. Or preaching Krishna consciousness also. That's our one track. The other track is called by Rupa Goswami Pancharatrika Vidhi. The direction of activities that are based on temple worship, Brahmanical lifestyle. How to live as a Brahman, how to be clean, how to worship the deity, all these things. If one is missing, then spiritual life becomes jeopardized, and one can create havoc in one's spiritual life. So yes, while in Kali Yuga, chanting the holy name is the process, but it heavily depends on temple worship, on deity worship. So one should never neglect it, thinking, oh, I'm just going to go out and do Harinam. Okay, go, let's see how long you last with that, without the presence of the deity, without getting energized, without fueling your tank coming and worshipping the deity. When I say worshipping the deity, I don't necessarily mean you have to be here on the altar doing the pujas, but even just coming and standing before the Lord in Mangala Arati or at greetings or at Rajbhoga Arati like we'll do in about half an hour or so. It's equivalent to what the pujaris are doing behind the curtain or on the altar. So temple worship, deity worship, absolutely essential. Another thing about the deity, I mentioned there's a difference between the form that's there in Goloka Vrindavan or the various incarnations of Krishna that comes to the world. There's a difference between them and the deity that we see. Anybody know the difference? One difference? Besides one is like, who was it? One of Mahaprabhu's associates said, my dear Lord Chaitanya, you are Brahman and Jagannath is Brahman. The difference is Jagannath is the non-moving Brahman and you are the moving Brahman because you are moving from place to place. So besides that difference, what is the other difference? Anyone can say? Between the Archa Vigraha, the deity form of the Lord, and the actual incarnations and Krishna himself manifested here years and years ago. Anybody can say? I'll give you an idea. One is more merciful than the other. Now, which ones are more merciful? Those actual, quote-unquote, actual forms that came down thousands of years ago from Vaikuntha, or these forms? Deity forms, of course, you know that the whole class would have been spoiled if the answer wasn't deity form. But why the deity forms? Anybody can say? What was that? The deity doesn't blink. Ask some of the ladies, they'll say Krishna winked at them. How can you say that they're not blinking? And if Krishna blinked at you, any sidelong glances from Krishna gave? Another reason? The deity never leaves, yes. Some incarnations of Krishna, they just came for a couple of, like Lord Nrsingadev, he just came for a few hours, in and out, gone. Of course, he stopped in Mayapur, he washed his hands at Nrsingapauli, and then he went. Krishna stayed here. Anybody knows how Krishna stayed on the how long Krishna stayed on the planet for? A bit of a long time. 125 years, of which I think 100 years he spent in. You heard that Krishna is Gujarati. He spent 100 years in Dwarka, in Gujarat. Yeah. Prabhupada said like that once, Krishna is Gujarati. Yeah. So they don't spend for a long... Some of the deities in India, they're there for thousands of years. Ranganath, Tirupati Balaji, thousands and thousands of years. So the deity is very merciful. Krishna comes and goes in his original forms, but this deity stays with us. Stays and stays and stays with us. So very, very merciful. Very merciful. Also, this form of Krishna in the form of the deity, how many people in Dwarka were cooking for Krishna and dressing Krishna and, massaging Krishna? Here, I heard a couple of weeks ago, there are about 250 devotees engaged in the service of the deity at Radhanath. So merciful that we, even though we are not pure devotees, we can go and do a variety of services for this form of the Lord. So many things. We can clean Krishna's temple. In Goloka or in Gokul, you can't just, okay, I'm here, I feel like cleaning. No. Who are you? What's your qualification? What right do you have to be? Did you do a disciples course? Did you get the certification? Do you have bhakti? They'll ask you so many. But here you can come and clean the temple of the Lord. Inside and outside. You can grow flowers for the Lord. You can go shopping. Who loves shopping? Especially if you have a lot of money. Who loves shopping? I know, I love shopping. We all love shopping. We can go shopping for Krishna. In Goloka, you can't just do that. Over here, you can prepare things. You can dress for him. Decorate him. You can do kirtan for him here. Can you just do kirtan anywhere for Krishna? No. But here you can do kirtan. Of course, I'm not sure about whether you'll have to wear dhoti and sari or t-shirt and have beard or not, but that's another topic. Right? But so many things we can do here that we wouldn't ordinarily be allowed to. So the deity is a very, very merciful form of the Lord. I remember in terms of shopping, years ago, maybe 20 odd years ago, I had the service I can't remember how it came to me, but I was responsible for oftentimes designing outfits for the deity. Some people at that time said I was very in touch with my feminine side. Very in touch. Like, I think Mother Lalita Mataji and who else? Rati Manjari Mataji and all, we used to all like, Mother Radhanath and all, we used to plan, and I used to go to India to get it designed with the tailors and the designers there, and then choosing jewelry, patterns and everything. And I tell you, I never had more fun and excitement and enjoyment in my spiritual life as when I was shopping for Krishna. Now, when we shop for ourselves, yes, we'll get a thrill. If we shop for our family, we'll get a thrill for a little bit. But try shopping for Krishna. Try shopping for the deities. It's an unmistakable thrill that you'll get. Of course, this is not an open season now. Whatever you like to buy, you can come and buy for the deities. Better find out what they'd like from the pujaris and buy accordingly. But it just goes to show that when you come and you see Krishna as the object of your service, and you appreciate how easy it is to approach him in the form of the deity, your appreciation for Krishna will just grow and grow and grow. And Krishna will smile more and more at us. Now, I also wanted to touch, how much of time do we have, Alanath Prabhu? Another 10 minutes, okay. I also wanted to touch on something which I feel is probably a shortcoming that some pujaris may have. It may have, like I said, not all, but some may have. Is that sometimes we view deity worship in and of itself as being just the process of offering things to them, being on the altar, offering an arti, dressing them, bathing them, cooking for them. But just that part, what I've described now, worshipping, cooking, dressing, bathing, whatever, is simply one out of 5 processes of the full gamut of deity worship, the full scope of deity worship. It's just one. And if we harbor the mentality that deity worship is all about just being on that altar or being in the kitchen downstairs and cooking, then we are losing 4/5 of the full experience of deity worship. And just to draw a very simplistic line, it then could mean you are losing 4/5 of the mercy that you're meant to be getting. So there are 5 aspects to deity worship. The first in Sanskrit is called abhigaman, which means how to prepare oneself for deity worship, a daily preparation, which means living a Brahmanical lifestyle, getting up a little early in the morning before the sun rises. If somebody is attached to getting up after sunrise, Prabhupada said very clearly that person is not serious about spiritual life. Not serious. Because it's very inauspicious to sleep through the sun rising. Very inauspicious. So getting up early, taking daily bath, wearing fresh clothes, applying tilak, chanting mantras. So this is all preparation, abhigaman. Then the second step is upadan, which means to gather all the items with intelligence, with organization, with efficiency, gather everything that one needs to worship the deity. I'm sure at your homes you understand what I'm saying. You have to have this planned out so your morning goes like clockwork. Otherwise, you know how it is in the morning. You get up, the kids, the deities, your japa. If one thing gets out of place, the whole morning, your whole schedule is out. So, preparing oneself, gathering all the items. And then the next is called yoga. Yoga means to establish oneself in relationship with Krishna. Not that you just, following the external physical ritual of it all, but you understand that I am an eternal servant of Krishna. And in that mood, I am now preparing all these items, and in that mood, I am approaching the deity to worship the deity. So even in the temple here, we'll find we have certain mantras, certain meditations that a pujari has to do before entering the altar. That is called yoga. And then eventually, we come to ijya, which is the actual physical worship. But the fifth one, the most important one, which closes it all off, is called svadhyaya, which is one's regular discharge of devotional service, hearing and chanting, reading the scripture, doing service in the mission for the devotees, serving the spiritual master. If one of these 5 is not there, or rather, if one of the other 4 is not there, outside of directly worship, then the deity worship is not complete. Therefore, at least in this temple or any ISKCON temple, those that are serving the deity have to have a very clear understanding of this. That they have to be involved in all 5 things. Not just, I'll come on a Tuesday evening, come on the altar, do my stuff, and I'll go. No, all of them must be there in a very deliberate way. Then, that is pujari life. Then that is service to the deity. Otherwise, it is actually incomplete. It'll be incomplete. Another point we wanted to make is that, related to svadhyaya, we must be very cautious because the tendency, when one comes before such a compelling, beautifully compelling form of the Lord like this, it's easy to get caught up, and it's nice, but it's easy to get caught up just in the beauty and in the attractive form of the Lord, and one may forget the other processes of devotional service, especially to chant. We've had devotees come in the past, Prabhu, I want to do deity worship at home, but it's going to take up some time. So would it be okay if I cut down my chanting at home, if I cut down my reading, and I can use that time to worship the deity? No. That can't happen. The deity worship is meant to be seen apart from being Krishna, being a form that we can connect with the divine to also, but it's meant to be seen also as a supportive component of hearing and chanting. But hearing and chanting, reading Srimad Bhagavatam, preaching the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, these are our essential processes. These are the essential things, more than anything else. If you have to give one up, I can't believe I'm going to say this on this topic, then you give up deity worship. But you never stop chanting the holy names of Krishna. Deity worship without the chanting of the holy names of Krishna is no life. Is no life. Is no life. This is very important. That's why we encourage devotees. Go out on Harinam. When you go out on Harinam and book distribution and thereafter you come and worship the deity, I can guarantee you, your worship of the deity, that experience will be sweeter than anything else you've had in your life. Just try it. One Saturday, go out on Harinam, and Sunday come and worship the deity. Try it. The experience will be so much better, so much sweeter, so much better. Everything will be found. Another thing is, we spoke about this earlier, touched on it, but I wanted to emphasize it more. His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj mentioned it a few weeks ago, is that one cannot approach Krishna, especially in the form of the deity, without the blessings of the spiritual master. You may have heard differently, okay, but we want to correct if you've heard it incorrectly now, right? That one cannot think, I can just go to the shop and buy some deities and start worshipping. No. Cannot do that. You must get the blessings of the spiritual master. Yasya prasadad bhagavad prasada. If you want to get the prasad of Krishna, you have to get the prasad of the spiritual master. It must come through the spiritual master. Cannot otherwise do it. Because deity worship, unfortunately, can easily become a fashionable thing to adopt in one's life. And just as fashions changes, right, you'll find your impetus to worship the deity will also wane, and you'll try something new. Right? Oh, okay, I got Gaurnitai now. 1 year has passed. I think I want to get Jagannath now. Oh, I think now I'm moved on from Jagannath. Now I want to get Krishna Balaram. Krishna Balaram after 1 year. It's not really suiting me. Radha Krishna. Then Shalagram Sheila. Then Govardhan Sheila. Then Nrsingadev. It becomes like buying baseball cards. You know, when we were young, we'd buy like motocross cards and baseball cards and soccer player cards. It becomes cheap like that. No. Very special to worship the deity. Therefore, one needs guidance and training and permission from the spiritual master. That is absolutely essential. And even if one worships the deity, one must always remember, first and foremost, deity to worship is the spiritual master, is the devotees. First and foremost. Krishna, in much of the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, he's speaking to Uddhava. And a very prominent component in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is where Uddhava is hearing instructions from Krishna on deity worship. And a very important verse or excerpt of one of the verses in one of the chapters of the 11th canto is Krishna is telling Uddhava, Mad Bhakta, my devotee, Mad Bhakta Puja Byadika. My devotee must be worshipped first. Or my devotee must be offered first-class items to be worshipped. Like many years ago, I asked the pujaris or garland makers here, before you all make Radha Radhanath's garlands, make Srila Prabhupada's garlands. You understand where that comes from? It's coming from the Bhagavatam. First and foremost. So the mood is, the spiritual master is first, before we can approach Krishna. Because without the spiritual master, what can we know about Krishna? Nothing. Right? We'll be just sentimental. I remember Bhakti Bala Puri Goswami used to ask us this famous question, that devotees, if Krishna and your spiritual master have to walk through that door right now, what would you do? Devotees gave a few answers. And then he answered. He says, you would go to your spiritual master, offer obeisances, worship him, and after sufficiently pleasing your guru, you'll ask, Guru Maharaj, So wonderfully here. Thank you for coming and blessing me with your presence. Now I have a question. That the person next to you, who came in with you, I think it's Krishna. He looks like Krishna, but I can't be sure. But you know Krishna. Can you confirm this? You understand the position of the spiritual master? We can never know Krishna without the blessings of the spiritual master. Once in India, Prabhupada's Sanskrit editor, Pradyumna, highly intelligent Pandit, Prabhupada used to call him Panditji, American-born disciple. He used to edit Prabhupada. He used to do a lot of translations for Prabhupada, word for word, transliterations, do the Sanskrit editing. From somewhere he got a shalagram Shila to worship. And Prabhupada gave him permission, okay, worship. But then Prabhupada noticed that in one Guru Puja of his, Prabhupada used to receive Guru Puja every morning, Pradyumna Prabhu wasn't there in the Guru Puja. He wasn't there. So Prabhupada asked, where is Pradyumna? Why isn't he in the Guru Puja? And then someone said, oh, Prabhupada, he's worshipping Shalagram. He's doing Shalagram Puja. Prabhupada said, no, no, no. First Guru Puja, then Shalagram Puja. First Guru Puja, first approach the spiritual master for blessings, and then one can have the eligibility, the right, the qualification to serve Krishna. Okay, this is just, Alanath Prabhu, this is just 1/4 of what I wanted to present. But I just wanted to read something, so it makes just something for you all to take away in terms of we coming to the temple, we're coming to see Krishna, the most significant person in all of creation. Well, you can't call it in all of creation because he's not part of creation. He's not created, you know. But the most significant person in existence, right? And what is the disposition that all of us should have? And in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Srila Prabhupada's presentation, which is the Nectar of Devotion, there's elaborate descriptions of the do's and don'ts when coming to the temple. What can be done before the deity, what can't be done before the deity. So I just wanted to share something with you all, which is, for me, been a very important consideration to guide all persons that are coming. Now this, devotees, is not a setup. Right? You'll understand what I mean by that. I really feel it is very, very important that we all take note of it. Right? It's very important for our, for optimizing each of our visits at any time to the temple. Right? So this is in the 9th chapter of the Nectar of Devotion. And it is in the section which is about smelling the incense or flowers offered to the deity. You know, you see, where's that Prabhu? The Prabhu at the back. Kam's Prabhu, right? He's always taking the lamp and he's taking the flowers and the water. It's a significant thing. Sometimes we think we just, you know, we put our nose to the flower, but we won't breathe it in thinking, what in case there's a virus there, right? And remember COVID, we weren't taking around the flowers. It was, now when I look upon it, I'm thinking, oh my God, we actually did that? We weren't taking the flowers around because we're going to get COVID. Remember, we weren't offering obeisances because we're going to inhale the virus. So anyway, it was the whole thing, we did it. I mean, it's a good way to go, offering obeisances to Krishna, smelling the flowers. It's not a small thing, smelling the flowers, smelling the incense. Who by smelling became pure devotees? Anybody remember these personalities? The 4 Kumaras, simply by smelling the manjaris, the tulsi flowers that offered at the lotus feet of Krishna, they changed from impersonalists to devotees, to bhakti yogis. So in this section, Prabhupada writes something which is very important to us in terms of visiting the temple. He says, any devotees here? All of us. Any devotee coming into the temple should always offer something to the deity. This is a regulative principle. There's not just 4 regulative principles. Know this, know that. There's so many regulative principles. As a devotee advances, they learn and are eager to adopt in their practice. Any devotee coming into the temple should always offer something to the deity. Fruit, flowers, incense, etc. If one cannot offer anything in cash, something else must be offered, like your credit card details. It's there. It's there. It's there. It's there. In India, the system is that all the ladies and gentlemen who come in the morning to visit the temple bring so many things. Even one morsel of rice or one morsel of flour, meaning like bread cooking, or what do you call baking flour. It is a regulative principle that one should not go to see a saintly person or the deity in the temple without any offering. The offering may be very humble, or it may be priceless. Even a little flour, a little fruit, a little water, whatever is possible, must be offered. So when a devotee comes to offer something to the deity in the morning, he is sure to smell the good flavor of the incense, and then at once he will become cleansed of the poisonous effect of material existence. So this is essential, devotees. We must not just see Krishna as the ATM machine, where you push some buttons by offering some prayers, and you're waiting. Right? Come now. Like, millions of people, they go to Venkateshwar, to Balaji. Millions of people. And what do you think by far the majority of those millions of people's intentions are? Give me, give me, give me, give me. Right? Prabhupada had a very, very dear friend, elderly friend, who at the time before partition in India, when he was living in Pakistan, Prabhupada said he was the richest Hindu in Pakistan, Mr. Brij Ratan Mota. And when they were building the Jew temple, he suggested to Srila Prabhupada that, Prabhupada, just like in Tirupati, there is the story, if you give a donation to Balaji, you'll get so much more in return. Your business will flourish, your bank balance will grow, so much auspiciousness will come. I think we should spread a rumor that if you give to Radha Rasa Bihari, the same thing will happen. Think we should do that for Radha Radhanath? Prabhupada said, no, that is not our process. We do not do business with Krishna. Very important. We did not do business with Krishna. You may have heard the story, it's quite famous in India, about a man who comes to the deity and he prays to Krishna, my dear Krishna, I'm offering you these flowers, this nice incense, all these gifts, but I want you to know that I'm going to the races now. Saturday morning he came, right? I'm going to the races, to the tote. And I'm going to bet on this horse. And if I win 100,000 rands, I will definitely give you 50,000 rands in return. He told Krishna. Gave his donation, he went back, came back later in the day before Krishna, said, Krishna, phew, you are really amazing. Right? I went to the races. Of course, I didn't win 100,000 rands, but I got paid out 50,000 rands. Right? But you, Krishna, you were so impatient. You didn't wait for me to give you the donation of 50. You took it in advance. We can't cheat Krishna by our little show bottle devotion, even if it's hundreds of thousands of rands. No, no, no. Krishna is Madhava. What does Madhava mean? The husband of the goddess of fortune. He has everything. He has everything. So instead of coming and, trying to do business with Krishna, offer whatever little we can to Krishna with a pure heart, with a genuine heart, with a devotional, with a sincere heart, and then sit back and just see Krishna's magic play in your lives. All those things that you are desiring, the new this, the better this, the more that desire will get transformed. Get transformed into something that only pleases Krishna. And by the pleasure of Krishna, what happens to us? By Krishna's pleasure, by Krishna's smile, what happens to us? Our happiness knows no bounds. As Prabhupada said to Shilavati Mataji, the original Pujari, If you can get Krishna to smile at you once, your life is successful. So I thank you very much. Shri Shri Radha Radhanath ki, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. I think this is one. Hare Krishna, and a very big thank you to His Grace Swarup Damodar Prabhu for the very enlightening class on deity worship. Thank you very much, Prabhu. I have just 2 announcements to make. Today's Love Feast is sponsored and prepared by Srila Prabhupada's serving team, all for the glory of Srila Prabhupada, in memory of Her Grace Prana Saki Devi Dasi, who is the mum of Dayal Chaitanya Prabhu. So a huge round of applause to them. Also, it is so wonderful to see so many new people coming into the temple room today. So we have 5 gift packs. If you are here for the very first time, we have 5 gift packs which include Srila Prabhupada's books, and we have devotees that will be at the foyer, which is the entrance of the temple, and they will be handing out these gift packs at the end of the program. So now it is my honor to call upon Her Grace Krishangi Radhe Mataji to come forward, as she would like to share some very, very enlightening and exciting news. The most auspicious day of Krishna Janmashtami will be coming shortly. So Mataji will be speaking on behalf of the festival committee. So Krishangi Radhe Mataji.
Thank you so much, Hare Krishna. I firstly beg apology for taking up this time, but it was such an important class and so insightful. So definitely something on deity worship has so much to actually get into. And stemming from that, the festival committee has planned a festival launch this afternoon right here at our Sunday Love Feast program. So we are looking ahead at Janmashtami, and stemming directly from what Swarup Damodar Prabhu had said, the worship of the deity. And here we're talking about the appearance of Lord Sri Krishna. And we're excited to share the plans on behalf of the festival committee this afternoon, the plans of the festival that's coming up within the next few months. Actually, time passes by so quickly, so although I stand here saying few months, it's going to be pretty soon that we are going to be observing Sri Krishna Janmashtami. Maybe you could just... Okay, so this is an overview of exactly what we have. It's a weekend festival. So Krishna Janmashtami is actually on a Thursday for many Hindus. Friday, it's on the Vaishnav calendar. Saturday is Srila Prabhupada's Vyasa Puja, and we're hoping that the festival continues on Sunday, celebrating and honoring Srila Prabhupada as well. So this is just an overview, a snapshot of what is to be expected over that period, but I'll take you through it right now. So 23rd to the 27th of August is Julan Yatra, and we celebrate Sri Balaram Purnima at the end of Julan Yatra. So that, of course, is actually, well, an integral part of our festivities, because it is the appearance of Lord Balaram himself. And so that period of Julan Yatra, as you know, we will have the whole swing festival taking place, and you are invited to come along and actually swing the Lord. Very, very personal service, another form of deity worship. So some calendars do show it's the, this is the 27th of August, and not the 23rd, it's the 27th of August, that's Balaram Purnima. We've got the wrong slide there. So Gita Jayanti starts on the 28th of August to the 3rd of September. And here we are very fortunate to have this year with us His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Swami Maharaj. Let's have a Haribol. So Bhakti Chaitanya Swami Maharaj will be here to present the Gita Week discourses this year, and that will take place on the Saturday and Sunday particular week. It will take place between 5 and 6 p.m. and Monday to Friday between 6 and 7:30 p.m. So that accommodates everybody that's gone out and have busy and full days. Prashadam will be served there as well. Also, something very interesting this year is that if you are keen on having an overview of the Bhagavad Gita, which will be accredited by His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Swami Educational Ministry, then you will have a certificate upon completion of that particular course with Maharaj. The 29th, you may know our truck, that's called our festival truck, that will go out to the Bangladesh market together with Prashadam distribution and book distribution and Kirtan as well. And then on Sunday, the 30th of August, together with actually the 3rd of September as well, we will have fruit and flower all-day worship, cultural entertainment, the Gita Week discourse that continues, and Prashadam distribution. So this facilitates so many spheres of the temple. Sri Krishna Janmashtami is on Friday, the 4th of September, and that's from 4:30 a.m. right up until midnight, and it's synonymous with the Hare Krishnas. I know when I speak to people, everyone's coming to the Hare Krishna temple for Janmashtami. Am I right? Right, you know that the queues go out. There's long queues to actually get into the temple. So much happens here, and that starts at 4:30 a.m. And I don't need to say anything more because you know all about it. On that Thursday, the Thursday before, that's the 3rd, we have the learner program, and we have between 600 to 700 learners from various parts of Durban that are bused to the temple, and this is a fantastic opportunity for our young leaders, our youth, to actually gain exposure. They come in, they look here, they are mesmerized by this temple room itself, go down to the cultural entertainment marquee, and that's where they have a cultural entertainment that's actually really catered to what they enjoy as the youth of today. Also, that same week of the 3rd, on the 26th of August, there's a senior citizen, on the 2nd of September, the 2nd of September, it will be the senior citizen program that will take place. And that again, that marquee is full, and that would be around 700 senior citizens that attend that particular program. Again, it's structured and it's tailored for them. So why am I telling you this? I'll tell you in a moment. Maha Abhishek, 4th of September, and that's on at 9:30 p.m. and there will be a seva opportunity for you there to contribute and get involved. That's the main Abhishek. And all day, again, as I say, it's a bonfire kirtan, it's a Janmashtami challenge, which we all love. It is the floating candle prayer on in the moat, which everybody has taken so warmly to as well. So much going on at the temple. So there is also over 40,000 plates of vegetarian meals that will be served throughout those festivals that I've just mentioned. Different days catering for different people. And there's so much that goes into it. So with the senior citizens, with the learners, with worshippers, with Gita Week, with so many things and so many people actually coming to take darshan of Sri Sri Radha Radhanath, knowingly or unknowingly, but they're having actually the blessings of this beautiful deity. So here's what goes into it, and many people don't know, right? So this is a list, it's actually a snapshot, but we will send it out to all of you on our community group of what goes into this. And why am I taking a moment to say so? Because many of us here don't know. What goes into that plate of prashadam, that biryani that's served at Bangladesh market, or to the learners, or to the senior citizens, or over the Janmashtami period? So here's a list of quantities in kilograms. Maybe you cannot see, but we will send it to you. The spices, the dry bhoga, the veggies, the dal, the halava, the juice, the quantities that's required. And what does all of this take? Two things, right? This is devotional service. So it takes money and it takes time, effort by people. So much of the costs are covered by going out and collecting donations, sponsorships, and so on. Actually, all of it. So we are humbly appealing to you to, if you can offer, whether it's service in kind, it's your devotional service in your time, we will be sending out a Google form within the next few days with different categories of service areas that if you feel an inclination towards, please log in there and tell us what service you would like to do. You will also be able to meet the festival team later on and take a cover letter to explain all of this. And if you know people that you could approach to actually give a donation towards Krishna Janmashtami, then please do. It is ISKCON 60 this year, and I cannot not mention that. It's 60 years celebrating ISKCON in the West that Prabhupada inaugurated ISKCON 60 years ago in July of 1966, and therefore this year we are hoping to have a really, really beautiful Prabhupada Vyasa Puja. Swarup Damodar Prabhu just mentioned deity worship, and here we can see the Abhishek of Srila Prabhupada that will take place on the 5th of September. And as we say, he built a house in which in which the whole world can live in. So what better way to actually celebrate and honor our founder Acharya on the 60th anniversary of ISKCON. And we will be able to go in, because it's a weekend, to celebrate, continue that Vyasa Puja celebration on Sunday as well. So this is also a start to say, save the dates, plan your calendar, see how you can get involved. Let's try and get some money together, some Lakshmi. Let's see how we can offer our voluntary help, our service, bring along family, friends, encourage them to get involved in really, really this major festival that's going to be held here. So would you be able to be here and be a part of it? So as hosts, our mood is warm. We are here to serve all those well wishes that come through. And very, very importantly, we look forward to celebrating this in unison, but also to getting your support, your help, start planning. The festival committee also consists of Balaram Prabhu and a team that's seated here, and they will be at the back as well as at the Prasadam serve-out area. Their names are displayed here, so please get in touch with one of them and you would be able to hear more, learn more, take a receipt book if you want, if you're inclined to collect some money, some donations, but get involved. The best way to serve is to serve together and that's really pleasing to the heart. So we hope to see you. We will see you, I'm sure, but within the next few weeks, every department will come forward and actually also present what they have in store. So again, my sincere apologies for this on behalf of the festival committee, and if there's nothing more, we shall now get into some kirtan. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari. That's why. Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha, Radhanath, Radha, Radhanath, Radhe. Jaya Radha, Radhanath, Radha, Radhanath, Radhe. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Sri Advaita. Jai Om Vishnupad Parivrajikacharya Sri His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Ashtotara Sata Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपा गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय श्री नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय गंगा माया की जय यमुना माया की जय भक्ति देवी की जय श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Namaste Narasingaya. Namaste Narasingaya. Prahlada Ladadayine. Prahlada Ladadayine. Hiranyakashipu rakshaya. Hiranyakashipu rakshaya. Shiratanagalaye. Shiratanagalaye. Idon simha paraton simha. Idon simha paraton simha. Yato yatayami chator simha. Yato yami chator simha. Bain simha hridayen simha. Bahin simha hridayen simha. Narasimha Madhe Sharana Papate. Narasimha Madhe Sharana Papate. Tavakar Kamalavari Naka Abhuta Singha. Harita Hiranyakashipu Kanobhega. Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa. Jai Jagadish Hari. Jai Jagadish Hari. Jai Jagadish Hari. Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa. Jai Jagadish Hari. Jai Jagadish Hari. Jai Jagadish Hari. Jaya Nishingare, 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 Jaya Nishingare. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Shri Lakshmi Nrsimhare Bhagavan ki, Shri Prahlad Maharaj ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai Gaura Premanande.